You're 2 hours late.
I know. It's her fault.
Got the money?
$2,000. Hallelujah. You're my savior, man. I'm a person of Jesus Christ.
You get caught using that.
I know, this never happened. You don't exist.
Right.
Something wrong, man? Then you look a little whiter than usual.
My computer. You ever have that feeling where you're not sure if you're awake or still dreaming?
All the time. It's called mescaline. It's the only way. Wow. It just sounds to me like you don't plug, man. You know, get some more than an hour? You know, you think for sure. Should we take a look?
I can't. I have work tomorrow.
It's gonna be fun.
It's a trap!
It's a trap. It's 420 on Easter, dog. Who playing that?
I'll give anybody a free eighth who can spell Akbar Gabaja Bamila right now without looking it up. Let's go.
What's good, everybody, y'all? It's your boy B Jizzle and the longtime friend checking in, Bob the Cannabis Cowboy on an Easter Sunday, and it's a 420 day, so it kind of makes sense.
It is. It is. Putting all our eggs in one basket today, man. Getting it done. We're gonna hang
Happy
out.
Easter out there to everybody. What it do, Prototype? We see you in the building. Hello, everybody. What y'all doing on Easter? Y'all out there wearing them crazy ass pink and green suits? Y'all tap in and let us know what kind of strain are you rolling up? Because I know my guy Bob got a strain. I got a strain, and it's the game of strains, especially on 420. So welcome everybody to the show. We're live on Facebook, we're live on LinkedIn, and we're live on YouTube. It is 4:02 on the West Coast. We playing this just right. It's gonna be it was already 420 over there where you at, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, you pass, you get 2 420. Well, you get a whole lot. You get 2, 3 420.
Yeah, three of them, man. Yeah, it just depends on how if I decide to. I do it all day long anyway, man. Everybody knows. This house is 420 all day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Prototype says, here for a minute, got to get back. Yeah, I know you said you was going to be busy, but glad to see you tap in. Do me a favor, give me a like, give me a share on this. If you're just tapping in, let us know you tapping in on Easter. I want to know if y'all got them green and pink and yellow suits on for Easter. Y'all went to church and y'all was, you know what I'm saying, out there in the offering plate with all them crazy ass colors on. Y'all tap in with your boy, because you know I always rep the Cowboys. And I know my guy Bob does too. Bob, you've been growing some things. You've been really getting your cultivation on, I think, here lately. Is that kind of what's been keeping you busy?
Man, besides being in the gym 6 days a week, I've cultivated about 17 pounds of mass over the last 8 months or something like that. And I think I've done at least 3 grows that have gone a little. I've had one very, very unsuccessful. This last one that I just did went absolutely horrible. And I'm so glad I documented it, because everybody puts all these videos out about how well their grow goes, and nobody puts them out when they mess up. And I got a pretty big mess up. So, yeah, man, I've been growing. I'm still growing, man. That's all I do, man. You know me. I got jars and jars and jars of weed, but I still get my cannabis from Good Chemistry. As always, happy 420 to Good Chem. Thank you for the $88 ounce yesterday. They got great sales going on right now. And yeah, man, I'm in the middle of putting up right now what my strain is. There's 3 crosses in it, so I'm in the middle of writing all that down. But yeah, man, growing. That's all I've been doing, is growing and trying to grow my body and some great cannabis.
I see. You know, I think that's really great that you documented all of that stuff that failed, because I've heard this saying before, he who teaches also learns. And so I think, you know, by you sharing that, I think that's great. So if you're just tapping in and you don't know who my guy Bob the Cannabis Cowboy is, look, we go way back, baby. We go back like diapers and pacifiers here on BDG, but he is the cultivator. He is the Cannabis Cowboy. He is in Colorado. I am in Washington State. Is the Big Green Rush. Y'all seen us on Square Groupers here before. He's back with a reunion, man. Ooh, when you gonna post up all the content that you got?
I just put one out, the last video of my 4-video gross series, I think a couple of weeks ago, and I've had some technical difficulties with the computer. So I'm probably going to put one out here in the next week. I've got strain spotlights I've got to do of all the weed that I've grown. So I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of content to put out there. I'm happy my fam knows that I'm not really the kind of person who is always putting content out all the time. So they stay with me. They don't jump ship because I haven't done anything in a month. And I want to thank all my folks who follow me and actually live that way, because I really appreciate that, man.
Yeah, and if you do not know, you can check out my guy Bob, the Cannabis Cowboy, as Cultivating the Cannabis Cowboy on YouTube. As you see, we got it up here. Is it on the screen?
Yeah, it's there.
Okay, good. I'll place the link and put it in the comments. So if you're on YouTube, you like to watch YouTube, you want to learn about different strains, his chemistry or his chemistry is really good. But he's really with good chemistry out there in Colorado. So it's great to have spotlight strains. There's some spotlights on there. See, you're getting really nice with the artwork over there, dog. You starting to step it up on YouTube, baby.
I don't want to look too pretty, because my whole channel is based on the fact that I would rather you walk away with saying to myself, I learned something from this channel, as opposed to look how pretty that picture of that weed was.
Right.
But there's a couple ways to get it classed up. And again, I drive a lot of traffic to my channel because of the concerts I go to as well. So the folks that come by, like, for the last, if you scroll down a little bit right now and you watch that video, Emil and the Sniffers, that wasn't a month ago, and I've got 1,500 views on it already.
Right here.
Or something.
Yeah. 1,300 views. I know you took me to the 420 concert out there a few years back, baby. So I know at Red Rocks it goes down. I like this new good chemistry strain spotlight images you got going on in your stuff here. If you tap in on YouTube, you can go over there and follow my guy Bob, the Cannabis Cowboy. Make sure you subscribe, especially all my Cowboy fans. If you are in the cannabis space, it is 420 today. I didn't realize that, 420 fell on Easter until about 2 weeks ago. And I started looking at my schedule like, all right, I know Bob's coming up. I want to get him on for 420. I was like, wait a minute, it's on Easter?
It's happened.
He
recently.
He has risen. He is here with us today. His name is Bob.
I don't know what the math is on it, but it's happened recently enough for me to remember the last time 420 was on Easter. I don't know what the math is on it, but obviously it's like everything else because of how we count our days. But yeah, man, I'm happy. Everyone can kind of get together. I'm hoping maybe people are hopping in and taking a look. I can't see the view count, but
we got about 10 folks on the line. Shout out to my guy Diego with the 100 stars right there. Appreciate that, Diego, in the building. Green Bay supporter. Shout out to all the supporters supporting the content. Everybody, just make sure you check out the secret supporter group over there. All that exclusive footage from Bakersfield is in there. I'm getting ready to be in VA in May, so all that exclusive footage is going in there. So if you want to see that, I'm not really posting a whole lot on BDG anymore. Y'all gonna have to check it out in that supporter group, because we are getting ready for the draft. We're getting ready to be in draft week this week. Bob, have you been keeping up with the Cowboys in the draft and all of that or not?
Yeah, I'm gonna say I haven't. Damn well I have, man.
Yeah.
Damn well. I'm in the background looking over the fence, like, oh, this is what we're fucking talking about. This. Yeah. Okay, cool. But here's the thing. This may be the first year, and I'm gonna kick myself in the sack for saying this later. But this may be the first year where if Ashton Genty isn't there at 12, which I doubt he's going to be, he's really the only guy I'm looking for this team to grab at that point. I think there's enough wide receivers that if we decide to say, hey, if you want our 12, give us your 14 and another one in 2 or 3, that's cool. We can still get a couple of these wide receivers that we might grab. Because again, I don't know that we're going to get Genty. I don't know any other running backs besides him that are worth a grab.
Well, that's pretty deep, but I mean, he's the guy. And yeah, you're right. A lot of folks have him pegged, especially the media and the mock drafters and those folks of the world, the experts got him going. I feel sorry for Ashton Genty, because if he go to Vegas, I mean, he going to be a Josh Jacobs 2.0. They're going to ruin that boy career over there. They're going to trade him or something. You know what I mean? So shout out to Josh Jacobs over there. I ran him last year in my fantasy football league, so I paid attention a little bit.
That's my boy, dude. I love Josh. He's one of the greatest running backs I've seen in a long time, and he just absolutely – he just was dying where he was, man. I don't know that he's going to flourish in Green Bay, but he's one of those dudes where I feel like if you give that guy a good line, he's going to rip 1,800 yards out, no problem for you.
Yep. Shout out to my guy Pete. Grilling and Chilling is in the building, baby. Y'all just seen that story. We launched it on OAT. Shout out to Pete out there, was feeding everybody his meat. Paul
Starboy
at the barbecue in Bakersfield. Yeah, Starboy's in the building too. Thank you, Pete, for those 200 stars. I appreciate that, baby. What up, Starboy? We see you, Starboy, in the building out at DFW. Diego said, love the podcast. BG, by the way, on Patreon. Appreciate that. Yeah, we're here on 420. I know y'all been looking for me in the gym, man. Look, I've been busy. I've been traveling. We got things going. This is a busy time of the year for us, but we're getting ready to get into draft week, and I'm with you, man. If the Cowboys don't draft Ginty, it's like we're hearing, Stephen Jones come out and say that, we might possibly trade back. There's a lot of this trade back talk, trade back in the first round to get an extra pick at maybe 21 with like somebody at a Pittsburgh because they need a quarterback. But I don't know, man. I'm starting to hear all this Aaron Rodgers shit coming to Dallas, and please, y'all stop that. I don't want the Cowboy killer. I think he need to retire and go smoke Marlboros in the bush or whatever he does every offseason. Get Aaron Rodgers out of Dallas Cowboy fans' mouth. Like, please. We went and got QB Joe Milton III. We haven't talked since then. What do you think about the QB trade that the Dallas Cowboys went out and actively pursued, selectively, aggressively, with our guy from New England? How did you feel about that?
I saw that. I don't know if my mic is messed up or not. I saw my levels go a little bit higher. Do I sound all right?
You good?
Cool. I saw his frame and his arm. And when you have someone like that comes out, you know what it made me think of? It made me think of Paxton Lynch, which, again, I don't want to go that far, bro. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is
Jerry had he had one. He had one for him. I remember that name.
But see, he's just got that kind of build, and he's got everything that you have when you have the optics of a quarterback in front of you. And that's what this guy is. He's a big mug, and he can whip that ball. Mm-hmm. But how is he making decisions? We don't know. So I think it's pretty cool. I like that. Maybe I'm not real happy that Rush is gone, but it's going to make preseason a little bit more fun to watch, I think, right? Because this guy might actually show his ass for all we know.
Yeah, I know. It's been the million-dollar question for me is Dak coming off this injury. Is Dak going to play in the preseason? We haven't seen Dak play in a preseason game, I think, since maybe 17. Well, it's been a while since he's played, and I get it because he didn't want to get hurt, but now he's coming off an injury. And then it always seems like every year, and correct me if I'm wrong, like when we get into the first few weeks of the season and Dak is he's not in any kind of rehearsal, any kind of preseason games, it takes us about 4 or 5 weeks to get this offense running.
Yeah. It takes
I remember when we were doing the Jeffrey Dahmer stuff over there, we were like, you're not going to leave until you pass a touchdown to a wide receiver. Like it took us 5 weeks for Dak to pass a wide receiver touchdown.
That's tough. That's real tough, man.
So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, I think we're going to see a heavy dose of Joe Milton, though. But I would like to see a little bit of some Dak Prescott, too, because he's going to have to get out there and shake that rust off. I think him coming out week 1, I don't care if he's Slim Reaper Dak and he done lost 50 pounds because he's on Ozempic or whatever. You know what I mean? Just we need him to get some reps in there because he's going into year 10. Like, Father Time is on this guy's ass.
I don't recommend that Ozempic shit, by the way. From what I've been hearing, especially from my friends I've been making at the gym, that stuff eats at your muscle mass, and it's really, really, really bad. It's gonna rip fat off you, but it's also gonna rip some muscle mass off you, which is really what you want to replace your fat with if you're trying to lose weight and get better looking and leaner. It's a real tough thing. I would stay away from that. Also, real quick before we keep going, I want to give a shout out to my guys, my folks, the ladies and gentlemen out there at Good Chemistry South Broadway. They've been asking a lot of questions about almost all of them have sat and actually watched my channel. Most of them work and they're so busy they haven't had a chance to look at it. But over the last couple of months, I'm getting a lot of feedback from Good Chemistry themselves saying how much they love the videos, how much they love how in-depth I'm going. And it's really awesome to get that feedback. So I appreciate that, you folks. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say thanks. I don't know if they're tuning in, but you never know.
Yeah, bro. I think we're going to have to, maybe once a week, we're going to do something. Maybe, Highly Anointed could be the name of the podcast, or we could just do 420 podcast or something. I don't know, just so we can get up on here once a week and check on your grow and see how everything is going, because I really appreciate the fact that you got me hip a few years ago to the medical marijuana card game, because if you've got a medical marijuana card and you're in a legal state right now, you can save a lot. Like I'm saving like almost $60 at the counter on an ounce. You know what I mean? With that medical general use sticker that goes on there. So now if you're not aware, if you have a medical card and you're in a medical legal state, look for the medical cannabis in your state at your dispensary that has the general use sticker on it. And it's tax-free, baby. I'm talking tax-free, dog, under $100 for an ounce. Man, it's bad that you got to pay for it. I can't wait till we get free. But, hey, anytime I can save about $50 to $60, it's all good. But here is who I follow and support. I've been a Patreon member of MarijuanaMoment.com for almost 7 years. That's right, $25 a month, faithfully. Why? Because it keeps me in the know between Marijuana Moment and my guy Bob the Cannabis Cowboy. Keeps us in the know. So that link is down in there in comments. If you got questions, comments, concerns, no matter where you're at, if you're in a legal state, illegal state. Right now, I think we're 39 states medically and 24 recreationally. So veterans, if you're out there, you can tap in. I'm a veteran too, and I choose cannabis, medical cannabis, as a matter of fact, and over opioids. Because last time I checked, ain't nobody dying from smoking weed. You know what I mean? And on that fact, it's time to roll something up.
Yeah, buddy. I just had my cone. I put my cone to work already. I've lit it up. I put my strain up there too. It is called the Menage. It is a 3-way strain. It is absolutely insane. I remember when it first dropped. It kind of took the place of a strain called Ingrid that had been really, really popular at the time. But it is Skittles and Triangle Kush back crossed 3 times, crossed with Gelato 41, crossed with Kush Mints 11.
And for those of y'all that are just tapping in, if you didn't know, my guy Bob, the Cannabis Cowboy, is like a strain nerd. He is a strain historian. If you think he knows some shit about the Cowboys, wait till he starts talking about strains here, because he gets his seeds from overseas still, right? You still getting them from seedsmen or wherever?
You know what? The thing is it's been so long since I've had to buy them, because when in 2020 when I started collecting them, they just started throwing so many freebies at me that at this point I can't buy anymore, because I can't grow the amount of seeds that I have in my lifetime legally. If I can only grow 3 plants at a time, which is my legal count right now, even if I could grow 6 at a time, I still could not grow all of my seeds. So yeah, I have a huge library. It's just absolutely filled with some of the greatest cannabis, and I believe this is one of my last harvests for you folks that might want to check this out. This was my Lost Coast hash plant.
Big old green nugs. Look at that. But get it a little bit closer so folks can see. Folks can see that crystal on there, baby. See that shine.
Yeah, I got a bunch of jars of this. It came out really, really nice. It's got a real nice mango fruity smell. But I don't really grow any current cannabis. So for the folks that are wondering what my page is about, my page is all about pretty much classic cannabis strains. So the strains that you might have heard your uncles and your dad talk about.
OG Kush.
Yeah, all the ocean-grown Kush from Florida, all the Bubba Kush from California, the pre-98 stuff. That stuff is really all I grow right now. And if it's not that, they're crosses of that lineage. So what I'm growing right now is actually Romulan. And Romulan is a 1970 strain that was taken over during the Vietnam War and brought back to America. We still don't know what the lineage is on it, but it was named Romulan after the aliens from Star Trek with the big dents in their head. Because that's
I thought the name sounded kind of familiar. Romulan. All right.
Yeah, they were Romulan aliens, and so that was one. That was actually the first seed I bought from Seedsman. That's what sparked this whole thing, because I haven't seen that strain in so long.
Sterling's tapping in. He got a question for you there, Bob.
What's that? So I have questions. Are strains different by state? Because some people pay some states. I mean, look, the strain game is a tough one. If what you're asking me is, can you only get Bubba Kush in Michigan and not in Florida? No. If you're a cannabis,
be a different grower, different package, right? Yeah.
Yeah. If you're, so here's the deal. There's a lot of popular growers out there. DJ Short has some of the best blueberry. There's a bunch of growers out there, Humboldt seeds and stuff like that have been growing so much cannabis that everybody has clones or seeds from them. But for the most part, if you've got dispensaries that are trying to sell cannabis, they're not growing and breeding their own cannabis from scratch. They're starting with somebody else's seeds probably, or they're starting with somebody else's clones so that they can get the most popular cannabis. Now, your question is a good one, because there could be some places that you go that have classic cannabis that I grow, but you can't get it anywhere else. But for the most part, you're going to get ice cream cake. You're going to get Girl Scout cookies, you're going to get gelato, you're going to get Skittles, you're going to get all those common cannabis strains you see now, because that's what everybody buys. So really the answer is whatever's most popular to your community, that's the weed your cannabis dispensary is going to have. The chances of it being old school shit is getting slimmer and slimmer as the years go by, which is why I continue to grow it.
I got something I want to ask you. I was just in Bakersfield and getting ready. It's 419. Go ahead and spark it up if you got it. We wanted to do a 420 on the West Coast here. It's the best coast, baby. Fully legal, upside down, all the way from Oregon, Washington, California, Nevada. You got it. That's why I say the West Coast is the best coast, because of the Cowboy fans, and plus it's legal. And I'm happy that I'm going to VA next month where it's legal. Also, I'm gonna learn a little bit about that. But I was just in Bakersfield, dog. I don't know what the fuck is going on in Bakersfield. Like, you got to know somebody to go to the dispensary that's tucked away somewhere in the building that doesn't have a sign, and you don't know on the street. You just like, thank God I had Johnny Wheels down there. Johnny's like, this is where you go. Just go in there right there. and they're saying something with the county, and I'm like, how do they sell it here legally as a medical thing, but nobody kind of knows where your business is at? You know, anything that you can add to that? Why would that be set up like that? I was asking them, they were saying something with the county, and it didn't make sense. Like, why? It's legal in California.
Well, let me ask you this: so it's a county thing? We're talking about Bakersfield, California?
Yeah, I think it's a Kern County thing.
Oh, okay. That's real weird, first of all. But we have to also go back to the fact that California has been really getting their hands slapped a lot lately, because they were really some of the folks that did some damage to the legal cannabis movement by selling it out of the back door and having so many dispensaries shut down.
I remember that
over the course of it. So really, Cali is that definitely is a county thing, because here's the deal. I think there's maybe one or two towns out here in Colorado where if they vote, they don't want it, it's not there. I think Colorado Springs just became cannabis positive. I think they have not been since we were legal. So really, it's up to the voters. And again, this is what I'm okay with. I don't necessarily want the federal government saying, okay, here's all your cannabis and this is what you get. I want the federal government to be like, look, I don't care. I'm going to make it legal, and your state is going to decide whether you want it or not. And then the cities and towns underneath that will vote on that as well. I'm all about that. If you got a town that doesn't want cannabis, why the hell do you want cannabis in that town anyway? They're just going to make your life hell. It's going to be a problem. You might want to relocate to somebody that's more pro cannabis, but I also want to say this real quick. Anybody who's got new cannabis in their town, meaning your city, your state just legally became okay to sell cannabis, enjoy it. Enjoy the blow up, because right now Denver is absolutely diving when it comes to dispensaries. They are falling apart all over the place. There are not really a lot of like crazy, man. Matter of fact, Good Chemistry had a few at one point. Now they only have two. I'm just real lucky they kept my South Broadway.
What do you think's really affecting the market out there like that?
Well, the problem is they made so much money during COVID, as did most of these businesses, but cannabis made a lot of money. And they continue to see that move up as the years went by, but eventually it went down. And it went down because now people are just like, oh, rent is $8,000 a month instead of $4,000. So the problem is people are getting so greedy with property, with the rent and all these other things, that it's really, really becoming super hard for anybody to make any money. So if you're someone who's an investor in a company or in a cannabis company, you're like, well, this rent is dipping into the black numbers that are turning us red. They don't really want to deal with it anymore. So many of them have been shutting down. I didn't think it could happen, but and so what I'm trying to say is, not only are they're shutting down, but people are losing jobs because of that, and they're not able to laterally move from one dispensary to another because the business overall is taking a massive hit. So you've got people like my brother who's actually, I think had two different jobs at two different companies over the last 3 years or something like that. He was consistent for a while, but since the business is no longer consistent, his job is no longer consistent. So It's pretty tough, man.
Yeah, I've been saying this and made this post today. I'm from Texas originally, and the real reason why I ain't moved back to Texas since I retired from the military is because fucking weed ain't legal. And I've been saying that as soon as Texas can legalize there, I think the rest of the country will go. Because like I said, I think we're at 39 countries that are 39 states that are medically allowed, and then we've got 24 that are recreational. And here's some news here from Texas. Says hemp farmer says Texas bill to rein in intoxicating cannabis products could destroy state industry. Yeah, they're still slanting over there bad. It's going bad in Texas. They don't want to move on it. I've seen some news about them trying to do some stuff for veterans, with mental health and PTSD or whatnot. But man, it's a hard go in Texas, dog. Like, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with Texas. Like, you would think, like, maybe they want to get their hands in the money, but I guess maybe then they see states like Colorado with the decline and what they got going on now. They probably bring that up too and say, well, look at it over here. It's not really, it's not really booming like everybody says it is.
Well, let's not forget that it was booming for like 10 years. I mean, so it's not like, and it's only been the last year where it started dipping, and it's something noticeable. So if you want to, let's just go. I don't even want to do the math on this. Just tell Texas, think about how much money you can make in 7 years with legal cannabis in a state that already smokes so much freaking weed, your head would spin. If you would just make it legal, all of those, everybody would love to comply with the law. and not have to go to jail because they have a joint in their fucking car. So
Well,
if you just make that not happen, it's going to be a lot easier for everybody. And
one of my
everyone's gonna make
supporters,
their money.
one of my supporters here on Facebook, Jay Nichols, says that he pays attention to this out there a lot in Texas. He says it really benefits them by having this black market because they get funding for the border.
Yep.
And so, you know, as we get into some politics, I don't want to get into politics here on either side, but it's not a red or a blue side. It's a green side. I'm with the green side. And I think more and more people too are as well. But I've always said, as Texas goes, the rest of the nation will goes. And that's the big reason why I haven't moved back out there yet, is because, you know, for veterans that, you know, deal with mental health that don't have alternatives legally, you know, it's kind of a tough go. You know what I mean?
You know, and I don't, you know, we don't really want to get into that too deep either. But I said that on a comment. You said something about, I think it was the Texas thing you just posted today. You know, when you've got religion and politics and stigma and misinformation in the same bed, this is what's going to happen. And the unfortunate thing is Texas and Florida are still very religious and politically intertwined. And so the real problem is that you can't, the old folks, as they age out, that may change, but still we're talking about real deep rooted beliefs. And some people just aren't able to get past the fact that cannabis isn't what you've been telling us what it is for the last 50 years, guys. You know, They don't want to get past that. But I think once they're able to break the grip of like religion and how that's attached to politics in those states, it's going to be a lot easier. But it's hard. It's real hard, man. And those are two giant states. Those two the states that can make a lot of money. And the medical cannabis is not really doing very well in Florida because the black market is so strong out there.
Yeah. Sterling says I'm live two states that may never pass.
Yeah,
because of the religious type states. I'm trying to follow you there, Sterling, but I think you got a little spelling check going on right there. Starboy says Jerry got the Sunday by clock pushback. What you talking about? Talking about, Starboy? There's a whole lot of code talk going in on there today, but it's 420 today. We're highly anointed. I think that's what we don't name the podcast, bro. Highly anointed.
I was thinking high hopes, but you know what? I like that too, man. That's pretty good. That's
highly anointed, you know, especially on a Sunday, especially on Easter. You know, so shout out to everybody out there celebrating Easter today. You know, there's a lot of folks that went to church today. They lighting up that good. So if that's you, light up in the comments and let us know what are you going on, because we just passed 420 on the West Coast. It's a 420 exclusive edition. I'm happy to have my guy Bob back in the trenches, man. I'm telling you, dog, it's been tough without you, man. You know, we were going strong there for a couple seasons, and then, you know, life happens to life, especially for both of us, you know.
I look back on the sheer volume of Square Grouper episodes we did. It's insane, man. It's honestly insane, man. We put in as much work as podcasters who are making ass loads of money. we just didn't get the same viewership that they did.
Yeah.
And that's the game. That's the whole game, bro. There's plenty of podcasts out there. Both of us know this, that I've watched that aren't that big, that they could be, but they're not, because they're not either not pushing themselves, whatever the case may be. But I'm still having fun doing this. I still have fun in all this stuff. Yeah. I just got a text too from a friend of mine saying, "Do you still have that P98?" I wanted to show you folks real quick too. When I decided that I want to grow strains that you can't get anymore, I had to worry about how I'm going to preserve them, because if I'm just going to grow it and smoke it, well, then how cool is that? That's not real cool. I want to be able to put something away and then go back and revisit it in a few years and be like, "Oh, I grew that." Da 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 da. So this is what I do. I put them in a jar, and then I vacuum seal that jar. So first of all, the cannabis is not touching plastic in any way. It's touching glass, which is not going to deplete any of the trichomes or the crystals on the bud whatsoever. But on top of that, you're also sealing the jar twice so that no air gets in here. I decided to put the strain Pre-98 Bubba Kush. I put it in there on November of 2023, and this is the red phenotype. More of a coffee espresso. This is the same strain, but the green phenotype. And I've got them in jars sealed up. So when I want to do this, when I want to sample this again, they will be just as fresh as the day I sealed them. As long as I don't get more air into this jar, they will not degrade. So
where do you buy? Where do you buy those at?
Well, you can buy these ball jars anywhere, and these are just these are the vacuum sealer. I bought this for like $30 at my grocery store. The actual vacuum sealer. It's just super easy. It's just an extra step to take, because I saw people putting them in this And then when they opened it up and took the air out of it, all the buds were compressed and flattened.
Yeah.
And I was like, why would you do that? Just put it in a jar. So that's how I preserve. I have probably 15 of these of different strains that you can't find anymore whatsoever. And whenever one day I forget about them or I decide I want to smoke some of them, I can just crack it open and then reseal it again, and I'm good to go. So
hey, I'm glad you're my friend, baby. Friends with benefits. You know what I mean? Hey, pop out some of them seeds and grow some of that shit you got over there. You know what I mean? I think that'd be kind of cool.
I mean,
I think that's cool that you collect seeds like that and you care about strains, especially the OG strains and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's just my samples. That's all the stuff that I've grown that I've got jarred up.
Yeah, I remember you told me most of the time you be giving a weed away because you got too much weed.
That's all I can do, man. I had a friend of mine that said, I haven't smoked in like 4 days. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Just come to my fucking house, man. Here's a jar.
Yeah.
You'll never go without weed if you know me. It doesn't work that way.
I need to move out of Colorado. Shit. Speaking of Colorado, you know the Cowboys going to be out there in Colorado this season.
I know this.
Yeah,
I know this.
Shout out to DJ Kyle, One Star One Family. We were just out there at the One Star One Family Unity Barbecue, and I think they said they will be out there in Denver, doing something out there. So might have to get on out there to Denver this season and come out there and, we round up the posse out there, baby. What you think about that?
Shout out to my boy Damien out there in Miami, as well as Eric, John, and Paul, my brothers, my Kendall Cowboys. We were talking about this. So here's the problem, man. The problem with this is all right. So it's easy for me to say that, hey, y'all come to me. I'm talking about trying to motivate people that are our age, BG, that are jaded like we are, that witnessed firsthand this last couple of seasons, or this last season, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And are really, really, really having a hard time motivating themselves to say, I'm going to spend a lot of money to go to not only a Cowboys game, but a game at a
bro. I think some folks are going to just go out there just to tailgate. You know what I mean? So I understand exactly what you're saying.
Having been at the Broncos Stadium, and again, I know this is an old opinion, and these people might have grown up and learned the lesson, but it was probably 8, 10, 12 years ago I last saw a game there, and I vowed to never go back. Because their fans were absolutely intolerable, absolutely rude. For being an AFC team that does not play us every 8 years at home, every 4 years in the cycle, I was really, really pissed off. I threw hands a couple times. My wife was about to kill someone. It was bad. The only time after that, I said to myself, I'll only go to another game here in Denver if I've got my Cowboys friends with me, because they're either going to light my fire or put it out. But regardless, it's easier to be that way with 3 or 4 or 5 of my friends than just my wife, because she's going to take everything I can't take. You know what I mean? And that's a shitty experience.
Well, I mean, nevertheless, I know some Cowboy fans going to be out there. We definitely been labeled Vegas as the takeover. So shout out to all the Cowboy fans that are waiting for the schedule to drop. If you support my Patreon, we got a competition going on this month with position predictions. Next month, we got schedule predictions. So can you predict when the Cowboys play the Las Vegas Raiders? I just hope they don't put it on Thursday night. Don't put it on Thursday night. That's going to mess everything up, because we're trying to do some functions out there that weekend, some golf tournaments, some community service. Have you ever heard about those people that live in the tunnels underneath Las Vegas?
Yes. Well, look, man, when you don't have a place to stay, you're going to find a place to stay. And it's not much different out here in Denver either. There's places that you could do that, but the issue is most of them kind of disappear once the winter comes. It doesn't matter where you are, man. If you have to live out in this weather in the winter, you're gonna perish. So we see the numbers go down, unfortunately, because a lot of people can't handle the weather, or they move somebody else. But yeah, that's insane. But what are you gonna do? You're gonna you eat a bullet. You're gonna you don't give up. You keep pushing, and if you've got tunnels down underneath there, which they do, then that's where you're going to stay, man.
Well, the reason I brought that up is because I'm working with a couple of nonprofits out there. We're looking at doing a outreach there with the homeless in the tunnels. We're putting some stuff together there for the Raiders and the Cowboys fans. I think Raiders and Cowboy fans are going to get together, go out there, and our target is to go out there and help those folks. So if you haven't seen them before, go and check them out on YouTube. I know we're live on YouTube right now. You can check out the people under the tunnels in Las Vegas. It's they got shit. They got level. They got low income housing tunnels, and then they got like the posh. I'm like, are you serious?
Look, man, we're human beings, man. We've been doing this for millions. It's been a long time that we've been evolving and all these things, and it's sad that we've had to come to this. It could be something different. It could be a section of an area where people who don't have a place to stay can live. And I mean, I don't know. It's a sad situation, bro. And here we're talking about this homelessness issue is directly related to why cannabis is not as popular or the stores are closing down. It's all lack of money or inability to pay your place in life now because everyone's making it impossibly expensive.
Yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms right there, dog.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I hear you.
If
you're just tapping in with us on, yeah, but if you're just tapping in with us on 420, it's Easter. It's my guy Bob. It's your boy BG. It's the 420 Easter rabbit hole. Have you ever heard that before? You know, don't go down that rabbit hole. Did you? I know you've seen the Matrix before. You seen the intro video, what I was trying to do there with the rabbit and all that.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's an Alice in Wonderland reference, but there's a lot of things that you can twist. From it. I was also thinking to myself, if you guys want to see a real trippy Keanu Reeves movie, check out Scanner Darkly. I don't know if you've ever heard of A Scanner Darkly, but you might want to check that out, man.
That on Netflix? Where that's at?
I don't know where you can find it. I think it's an early 2000s movie, but it's cell shaded, so everything is done. It's drawn over people.
Yeah,
it's pretty insane, man. Get baked and watch it, dude.
Diego says, I heard of Bill the science guy, but Bob is a savant. Okay. Yeah, he's definitely a savant. He's been my mentor, y'all. I'm telling you, he helped me get my medical card, which it worked out in my favor. I mean, me and him had some conversations on some instances where I shouldn't have been smoking. That card got me smoking. So if you're a veteran out there, all you got to do is download your documents from your VA site. You can take it to Holistic Solutions, like where I take it to up here in Washington, and talk to a doctor, and they'll screen your stuff and then find out, okay, you're good. And then once you get a medical card, you're on the Department of Health. You know what I mean? So if everybody's saying, oh, you smoked the devil's lettuce, I was out at the One Star One Family Unity barbecue last weekend, and me and Johnny Wheels was in the car. You know who Johnny Wheels is, right out there in Bakersfield. Me and Johnny Wheels was, we was on our medication and stimulation before we went to the golf tournament. And then we hear a couple guys over there. You can hear them. They're going, and I'm looking back out the window. We got the weed, we got the windows open. And he's like, oh, somebody's smoking the devil's lettuce. And I was like, I fucking knew it, right? So I say, all right, how you gonna handle this on BG? So I stuck my head out and I said, it's actually called medication, so I don't have to deal with dumb people.
Very nice.
And he just like, and then they walked off. I'm like, get the fuck out of my face. You know what I mean?
All the sniffling.
Y'all out here drinking beer on the fucking golf course, but if I want to light something up, well, that's a whole nother story. But don't get me started.
Yeah, I'm not gonna crash my fucking golf cart into a tree like you motherfuckers might.
Yeah. But man, I thought it was special today, especially like I said 2 weeks ago. I just figured it out. I was like, damn, 420 on Easter. I was like, oh man, that's when I hit you. I was like, wow, we got to go in, baby, because we got draft week coming up this week. Everybody's kind of slowed down a little bit. Now everything's going to ramp back up. The Cowboys are going to draft every other player. Get ready throughout this day of this week. We're going to draft 30 different players before we get to the draft. There's going to be 30 different scenarios of trade situations and all that. So continue to stay tuned in. But other than that, I think the latest news was, Jake Ferguson and his old lady's going to tie the knot. Haley Cavender, I think she's like one of those twins that play basketball, one of those colleges. So, yeah, it's been a kind of slow news day for the Dallas Cowboys.
Here's the thing, man. I like that because the problem is we're either one or the other. We're either doing this or we're grabbing headlines for getting fucking 7 people that nobody wanted on their team for the last 5 years and making it seem like it's the greatest thing in the world, like we've added a bunch of talent to our team. I think more than anything in the last 10 years, the Dallas Cowboys have more training camp bodies on the roster than they have starting professional athletes. And it's just been a real problem aligning our talent with our coaches because God knows when we had DQ, our defense was so stupid, bro. When I just think about
his leadership, I think that's why a lot of players like playing with him because he just was like he could relate, he could psychologically motivate these guys to give more.
The majority of that team is there still, and we couldn't pull it together without him. So that just shows you. And people want to downplay what a coach is. A coach doesn't necessarily need to come here and be loud and yelly. They could just say, hey, look, these are the parameters of our game. This is the parameter of our practice. Play within him. Let me give you a different thought process, and let me put you in a different position. Why don't you do this? And it's just a way they communicate that make things different as a coach. It's how you stay. There's no way people are listening to fucking Coach McCarthy and saying, yeah, this dude's kind of a genius, bro. he's got some of the greatest ideas I've ever heard as a football coach.
Well,
so
while you bullshitting, and then let me throw some cheese on that because you got some facts going on right there. Per Kels, he was saying that there was some dissension between Shoddy and old Mike McCarthy, and that's where a lot of the play calling there were some problems because Shoddy wanted to push some new variations, and Mike McCarthy wasn't with that new shit. He's like, no, this is my shit. No. And I think that's why he got up and he left anyway. So we've all said it over the last 3-4 years. What's up with the play calling? The play calling looks, we don't get no pre-snap motion. We don't get this, we don't get that. But that made a lot of sense once Kels had spilled that. So hopefully, maybe they're going to want to listen to Shoddy. Maybe Shoddy can get their ear. I'm not saying it's going to be Dan Quinn-like, but it's going to have to be day to day. And how did you feel about, the Joneses in the front office going out and let Schottenheimer essentially just go pick his staff?
I think that was maybe their version of kind of blowing everything up. That's about as reckless as you'll see the Dallas Cowboys front office get. Is go ahead and here you go, coach. Hire who you want. Like, it just doesn't really work that way. There's always somebody who is in there that Jerry Jones has got wired to his hard drive at some point, and he'll unplug and plug it to somebody else and make sure that guy comes in no matter who the next head coach is. This is the first year I've seen our coaches kind of get flipped, almost all of them. I don't know. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with anything different, dude. At this point, we've been doing everything the same way for so long that to at least try something different, whether it's wrong or not, doesn't matter. It at least shows me that as an organization, you want to try and do something fucking different and break a pattern of insanity, which is trying to do the same thing over and over and expect different results. I'm hoping that maybe this is a step in that direction.
Yeah. James Price is tapping in and says, clown shows continues. Which one you talking about? The Cowboys or us? Let me know. Be a little bit more specific before I block your ass, James. No, I'm just messing with you, man. Happy 420. Diego's smoking. Yeah. Starboy tapping in says, I was ready to fire Coach Game 3. Yeah. McCarthy, I was the same way. I felt the same way you did, Bob. I was like, man, don't nobody look at Mike. Everybody look, man. They told us the same shit with Jason Garrett. Oh, all the players love Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett was a player.
I believe that. But that also took away from his ability to get the coach or the team to the next level because he was so fucking in people's pockets and like
Mike McCarthy. Jason Garrett 2.0.
Yeah.
Because I remember when we hired Mike McCarthy, I was like, why did we go hire Mike McCarthy anyway? He wasn't even our first look. He was off in some tiki hut in the jungle looking at analytics with like 5 dudes or something. And then everybody's like, oh, then we signed him. And I'm like, what the hell? I actually had to call a few people. I was like, why did we sign Mike McCarthy? Because that was like the apple that fell too far from the tree. But I think Jerry was just trying to bank on, his way. I can leverage you how I want to because you really didn't have a job and I'm going to give you a job. So you're just going to take it how I give it to you. I mean, it just, I think Mike McCarthy was a real stand-up guy, not to really down talk him here, but I just think he got tired of the bullshit too. And I think that's why he packed and left. He's like, I'm not playing this game no more.
I mean, look,
so maybe my guy's tapping in and says the clown show continues. Maybe that's the one he's talking about.
One of the first things I remember McCarthy saying was, yeah, I told Jerry I had spent the offseason looking at a bunch of Dallas Cowboy footage, but I didn't look at it. I didn't watch any of it. And it was a funny little joke, and it kind of got past people. But whether that was a joke or not doesn't matter. When you say that, everyone's going to take that as the truth. And what I took that as is this guy lied himself into an interview and possibly into a job as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys because of whatever. He could leverage his time with Aaron Rodgers and that ring that he got and whatever the case may be. I don't know why it was such a big deal that we were able to get that guy when he was sitting on his ass for, I think, 1 or 2 seasons at least.
Yeah, he wasn't even like our first look. Like nobody was touching him. Like I said, he was in the game. Yeah, he was in a tiki hut looking at analytics.
Yeah, the analytics didn't do shit. Whatever the fuck he looked at, he did not apply to our football team. He just said, all right, I read all that. Yeah. That's cool. We're going to do this. We're going to run on 3rd and 8. How about those apples?
Well, for everybody that says, this happening and says he wanted another yes man, how do y'all feel? Talk to us in the comments and let us know. Y'all think Shoddy is just another yes man? Is that why they hired Shoddy? I mean, he's been in the league for a number of years and hasn't had a coaching opportunity yet, but he gets his first coaching job. I mean, think about that. Jerry always lauding, talking about everybody wants to come coach. Everybody wants to be at the Star. Everybody wants to come to Frisco. And then to give a guy who had never been a head coach the job on the biggest team in the league. So talk to us in the comments and let us know down below. I think he's playing with house money. I think he got everything to gain and nothing to lose, especially because, like you said, Jerry didn't go out there and handpick all the staff. He allowed Shoddy to go out there and do that. And then once we seen free agency take off, which, by the way, You know, it's still going down till November 4th, so we might not see Micah sign his contract to the end of training camp. So get ready. Same movie. Get your popcorn. You've seen it before. But, you know, Shotty is then the coaching staff went out and they grabbed specific players. Like, we've seen a lot of these players like, who? What? From where? Who's this guy? And they're like, well, because of this. And then once you peel it back a little bit, they're looking at the skill sets of players that they want to do. Because, you know, Emmett came out and said that the Cowboys didn't have a plan for Ashton Jeanty. And then he said they didn't have a plan for Dak Prescott and or CeeDee Lamb. So I don't know, is this coaching staff getting a new plan together? Because the way it came together, the coaching staff and the way they went out and got some folks at free agency, now we're going to have to take a look at what's going on in OTAs, which Micah showed up, by the way. You know, he hasn't been there for the last couple of years, but he's on the contract year. But you know how it goes. So it's day-to-day with me, baby. You know, and this draft that's coming up this week, how the Cowboys pick or what they do in this draft is going to tell us a lot about this coaching staff.
Yeah, it sure is. And you know, we've had some misses in the draft the last few years, and I just think it's harder to as much as we think it's easier to evaluate. It may be easier to evaluate players, but it seems a hell of a lot harder to predict whether they're going to do shit. And college teams are making it easier and easier for these folks to transfer their lives from collegiate to NFL practice, simply, especially the way they're getting paid now. So you would think that they'd be more ready, but I don't care what you say, man. When you put like a 20-year-old kid who was in a college team for the last 3 years up against a Ray Lewis motherfucker that wants to fucking eat your face, that's where you see the difference in between college and NFL. And it just takes so long for someone who's still college level to morph anywhere. They're obviously not going to be a Ray Lewis, but to get anywhere near a professional level, it takes a little bit of time. Only people in these skill levels like quarterbacks, running backs, and like wide receivers, those are really the only those are only, I think, positions that can just come in and do good because they get the ball a lot. So you're either going to do good or suck. And we've been missing a little bit, man. We need a wide receiver.
You know, last year we didn't have those impact players. Like I said, half of these players we drafted in this draft is going to have to come suit up in impact day one. Shout out to my guy, King Sharon in the building. Sponsor 2025 Gym Rat of the Year, baby.
What up, B-Red?
He said, I just got done with the Easter stuff. That means he got out of church. Which suit did you wear? You wear the pink one, the green one, or the yellow one? Tell me, Brandon. I know you got one of them damn suits with your Nikes colored out there.
Pastel colored, no doubt. I'm guessing like a tangerine orange.
Diego says they want a team like the Replacements, sounds like. Another badass Keanu movie, by the way, Bob and BG. I don't know about replacements. I mean, a lot of folks got to realize, as we're saying, who do we sign, a lot of these folks aren't even going to make the roster. Some of these cats we paid money to ain't even going to make the roster. Do y'all remember a guy that was a running back last year named Royce Freeman, the Dallas Cowboy, wrote a check for $1 million for him? Well, we got to take 90. Yeah, we got to take 90 folks. We got to get this, we got to get this camp roster ready. We got to take 90 folks into camp. We got to, I think, dwindle it down to 51. Is it 51 now? I think it's changed to 51.
We had a guy back there that everybody said was the next Darren Sproles, and that guy just turned out he's getting like every time he touches the ball, he goes backwards.
Well, that's if you listen to Cowboy fans in the BDG comments. They'll tell you real quick, what's fixing to happen. I don't know whatever happened to the Dalvin Cook prayer group. Anyway, as I digress, but yeah, shout out to my guy Brandon King Sharon in the building. I don't know the replacements. Yeah, I mean, but the Cowboys always going to do on the cheap, and that's why when I see Cowboy fans upset with the front office and reading comments, like I read a lot of comments. I won't comment, but I read a lot of comments because I'm seeing what the pulse of the fan base is like, and everybody's pissed off. But y'all have seen this movie before. If you don't understand how the front office operates or why they do things and try to make some sense out of it, then yeah, you're going to drive yourself crazy because you're going to be like, Jones is going to pick the wrong person in the draft, which Jerry's not even doing the pick in this draft. Kels, by the way, shared with us also, Bob, that Will McClay and his scouting team are doing all the dirty work for the draft, and they're essentially going to hand the card to Jerry Jones, and Jerry's going to call it in. So that's something different. I mean, just them putting that out, and then with the coaching staff, like, we're going to see how they draft. So let us know down in the comments below. Are you buying what the Cowboys are selling, or is it day-to-day for you too? Let us know in the comments as we tap in on the 420 today. So what else is new with you? You say you in the gym, like you trying to put on a whole bunch of muscle and shit? Like you really hitting the gym, huh? You really raising the bar, huh?
Yeah, I'm in there. I'm getting big, man. I went down to about I trimmed down to about 180, and then I'm up to about 215 right now. That's about 7. I mean, I've been in the gym for probably 9 months at this point, but going pretty hard for the last 6.
I remember it was
So-
right before the season. Is that when you started getting in?
Yeah, pretty
Right
much
before the season
pretty
kicked
much.
off? Yeah. And then I remember you was like, yeah, we're not gonna do a show this year. He's like, I'm gonna do my thing. I'm like, cool. Then I seen you in the gym, but man, you putting on 215 pounds, bro. You in the gym putting on getting them gains. That's what I'm talking about.
I'll go in there. You know what, man? I was watching some of my friends, man, like Mike Rock, and they were in there. He was it, bro. That guy was posting so many videos. He was going so hard, and I'm like, these are people around. I think he's younger than us. Isn't Mike? Is Mike younger than us?
Mike Rock.
Regardless, I was like, when you start getting to a certain age, you start thinking a little bit more about what you're putting in your body and how you take care of it. You start really caring about the engine. And I saw him, bro. I saw him in there, like making me feel like I was a little bit of a lazy motherfucker.
What?
And so he motivated my ass to at least jump into a gym, because I was doing push-ups and all these other things to try and stay in shape. But he was in there. He was getting in it. And I'm like, all right, well, Mike Rock's getting in it, dude. I'm going to get in it. And he probably didn't even know. It's not like I texted him like, hey, I'm here doing this. I used him as sort of like a silent motivator. And I just kept going in there. So I'm in there 3 days and then I take a day off. 3 days and then I take a day off. That's pretty much how I do it, man.
That's awesome, man.
I'll be 52. You got to take it a little easy too.
I think you're gonna motivate me to get my ass in the gym. I think I need to shed about 5 or 10 pounds, man. I need to stop ordering these Uber Eats. But Sterling's is tapping in. He says, I look at the old drama Dallas. I look at it like the old drama Dallas. We all had that moms that made us watch. Yeah.
I mean, TV show was.
It's either in you or it's on you, one of the two. And most of us that grew up in the Dallas Cowboy fan family, or for one reason or another, we became Dallas Cowboy fans. And, for me, it's like people say, why are you a Dallas Cowboy fan? It's like, why would I quit? Like, I don't understand. Like, people are like, you haven't won anything. Like, they got this whole long line of list of shit. And it's like, anything you tell me can't already hurt me what somebody already said. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, 10 toes down. It's like, eventually the tables are going to have to turn.
That's the way.
They turned in Philly. I mean, shit, they're going to have to turn to Dallas. And I know I've been saying this. Jerry going to get him one more. Jerry going to get one more glory hole before he go to the pine box. I think he got to deal with Roger. He got to get one more, and it could be on the West Coast because, the next Super Bowl is in San Fran at Levi Stadium next February, and then the one after that is in LAX. Two West Coast.
I know this. I know
two
America
West Coast
loves
Super Bowls.
America loves letting somebody get to the top and then tearing their ass down. And so for anybody to walk up to a Dallas Cowboy fan of a team that's won the Super Bowl 5 times, the second or third most in the history of the NFL, and say, why are you a fan when you haven't won anything? Are those same people walking up to Browns fans? Are those same people walking up to Lions fans? Are they walking up to these teams that haven't even sniffed a Super Bowl in the entirety of their existence and saying the same shit? No. It's because of the spotlight. It's because of how big the team is. And again, I think if most of us could sit down and have a Congress and a conference as Dallas Cowboys fans and say, hey, would you like to shrink the lens on our team 50%? I think everyone would say yes. I would like to be viewed as much as any other team is viewed instead of having to be thrown into the news, because that's the reason why we get hit all the time, because we're constantly in the views. And then you have people like these assholes in GMFB that are like, oh, we get to talk about the Dallas Cowboys again, even though they haven't done shit. It's like, bro, we're paying you your fucking bills, man. Shut up.
They have to. They're the NFL Network, duh.
Bro,
but ESPN, those other, I get it. I get exactly what you're saying. There's that sweet spot in there. That's why there's so many pages on social media that make fun of the Cowboys and are wildly successful.
Yeah,
they pick up a lot of traction very quick because you either hate us or you love us. And for folks out there that's hanging on, just hang on. You know what I mean? Like I said, the tables will eventually turn. Hopefully in my lifetime, because and I know if we make it to the Super Bowl, and I'm on here with y'all, I'm gonna be at the Super Bowl. I would have been at one in Vegas if the Cowboys could have done that, but I will be at one of these West Coast Super Bowls. Let the Cowboys fuck around and get there. I'm just saying, there's a long ways to go. But it's our year. It's our year until it ain't. It's rinse and repeat for us Cowboy fans that are content creators. You got to get out your feelings, baby. It's rinse and repeat. It's time to go. You can't be getting caught up in your feelings out here as a content creator, man, because the Cowboys and the Cowboy fans and the comments, boy, they eat you up in these Facebook streets.
Yeah, what's funny is I when I go to the gym too, I go alone. I don't talk to anybody. I know a couple people that I bumped into, but I don't say shit. And I usually have these earbuds in because I'm old. They still have the strings attached because that's how I roll. And people look at me because I know they look at me because I'm wearing my Cowboys gear almost all the time in there. And I do that for a specific reason. I do this to let them know I'm the lone guy at the gym that's out here pushing up weight without spotters, and I wear my Cowboys gear proudly. So if you think I'm just going to be a bitch when you decide to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, you're going to see something real different. And I think that's kind of the way most of us think, because, you know, we go from being so high as a team in the 90s, and then we just kind of fall into this point where you know, once you start losing, you're the laughing stock no matter who you are. And if you're not winning, you're losing. And that's just the way it is. Once you're in the spotlight, if they just stopped talking about us all this time, it would have been easier on us. But since we stayed in everybody's mouth, that's what made everybody hate us. And I get it, man. I get it. But it doesn't
There's a science to it. There's a science to it.
Yeah.
Diego says, I wear my Cowboy shit out and walk around crazy. I ain't heard anything but crickets. Yeah, you know.
Most of us wear it like, what? Yeah. What are you going to fucking say, man?
I mean, I'm a little bit different. You know, folks are, oh, you a Cowboy fan? Because they see my shit. I'm just like, just a little bit, you know, because you'll never know how folks are coming, because folks like to clown Cowboy fans, you know, and I'm going to size you up before, you know, you get the chance to size me up. So then they start repeating some shit they heard on the network. Oh, they're going to trade that. And I'm just like, bro, I'm talking to a zombie. All right, man, have a good day, bro. We'll see you later. You know what I mean? Like, you got to carry on and move. I don't try to correct them or nothing, man, because you can't argue with no zombie, especially the Cowboys. If they've been fed some shit off of one of these networks, oh, it's gospel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's real. It's real, don't it? Especially these damn meme fucking websites, man. Like, oh man, it's funny what I see regurgitated. And you know, there's a few sources that I go to. You know, I mess with Mike Fisher because he's real kind of close and everything. He has SI in his background. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people that I think they don't want to become the shit broadcasters or the shit news reporters, so they always report the truth. But I'm not so high that I need to hear. I would rather hear the truth later than a lie now. You know what I mean? Like, chances are I'm not going to believe this shit anyway, man. You know, especially if it's a big signing, like, you know, anyone popular or good. Dallas isn't going to get them. We don't do that anymore, man.
Well, pretty much our roster is pretty much filled out right now, I think. And we got, like, I think enough room to draft our 10 folks, or if we trade down, which a lot of folks, even the Joneses, that came out and said that they potentially might trade down. Let us know in the comments down there below. Do you see a trade back happening? Because it definitely won't be a trade up. And, you know, I just hope that, like you said, I hope Ashton Jeanty falls to us at 12, because I think he got to pull the trigger at him on 12, no matter if he's there or not. Even if Tet's there, like, I understand now the Kool-Aid is, the Cowboys are going to wide receiver. And apparently we're all in love with this guy named Matthew Golden, including Jerry Jones out of the University of Texas, who ran a 4.29, I think, at the combine. Faster dude. Like, I think Jerry, and I think most Cowboy fans, don't get me wrong here, but I think we're just not over the fact we didn't get Xavier Worthy last year. You know, everybody's on that. Oh, we could have had Xavier Worthy. Look at him in Kansas City. He's so fast.
And having lived in Austin for 8 years, I like the idea of having a Longhorn on the Cowboys team. There's something of the tradition.
Yeah,
even though
I'm not a traditional. He's grew up there, and he played in the stadium and stuff. So it's like,
I like.
I'm gonna get a jersey. I'm gonna get his jersey, bro. I ain't bought no jersey, but I'm gonna get his jersey.
Listen, we know how it goes every draft day. So all it is number one knows what they're taking, and almost everybody knows what number one's taking. Number two, that can start getting to be a little bit of a mystery, but at the very least, you can look at that team and say, what are they missing? What's available? They're going to take this. All it takes is one of those motherfuckers to do something completely different and screw that entire board up for everyone to panic and pick somebody they weren't planning on picking. So there is a possibility that Ginty drops to 12 from 6, which is where I think, is that where the Raiders are? I don't know, man. That's a tough drop, man. I mean, there's going to be a team that's like, why don't we not get this guy? I know we've got A and B as our running back, but this guy's so good, you got to take him. So it's tough for me to think that guy's going to be available at 12. But the good thing is, that's fine. We have so many needs in so many positions that we can't really fuck it up. We can just pick one of these awesome wide receivers that's available and you know, take one of the 3 or 4 and even move down, like I said, and be okay.
Well, we got the mock draft simulator up, and so as we're saying, you know, everybody's like, JD's not going to be there. Look, it's been like 50-50. Sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not. Let's find out how these mock drafts go, because these mock drafts have changed, and I've seen players' stock change. I've seen players be at the top, and then they ain't even in the mix anymore. So if you're paying attention, like what Bob's saying, especially there goes Sanders, Walker, Campbell, Ginty didn't go. See? Boom. Ginty is not there. We're going to reject all the trades. Look at he's right there at number 7. So hell yeah, ain't even going to think twice about it. So just as much as folks are saying Vegas, and that could be some smoke here as we talk about smoke on 420. It could be smoke, because who's really going to go out in the media and say, yeah, this is what we plan on doing.
Right.
We're going to do this, and we're going to draft this guy, and this is who we're going to draft. And, there's all this gamesmanship that seems to be going on, because I remember about 5 weeks ago, Shedeur Sanders was going to New York, and then all of a sudden they went and got Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. I was like, whoa. I thought y'all wanted Shedeur. I'm like, well, I guess they didn't want no piece of that Shedeur Sanders business, because I don't know. There's a lot of people upset that Deion got his son out there retiring his jersey and he didn't do anything, and everybody just hating on Deion to hate on Deion, I guess, because it's Deion's son. But even Deion's son's, Shedeur's, his stock has seemed to drop a little bit too. So it's going to be interesting. Like you said, one of these teams could do something crazy in the top 11, and then we're like, wow, we never thought Shedeur Sanders and Ashton Ginty would be there. And then shit's going to get real spicy. Right. Like, ooh, because could you imagine that? We don't draft Ashton Ginty, but we draft Shedeur Sanders, and then he's behind Dak Prescott, and then Jerry's got a bench quarterback with one of the highest selling jerseys in the league.
I mean, look, we can play around with all these theories on that. I think no matter what, on draft day, our guys do a decent job. They used to be pretty money, but we haven't had amazing talent to choose from either. So we've missed on a couple things, but these guys are good at what they do. I think we're going to be okay as long as we don't try and get too sweet with anything. The problem is that we need a running back. We do need a wide receiver. We do need an offensive lineman. We definitely need a tackle, because we've been drafting them for years and they've been sucking ass for years. We probably could use another cornerback, if I'm being honest. I have no idea when Trayvon's going to be back.
Brian Broaddus has us going and getting this guy named Siobhan Revel, which I don't understand why, because I think he's coming off an injury this season. That's typical of the Cowboys. But I mean, if we're going to spend the top 3 draft picks, somebody's going to have to come in and play day one. We don't need no Jalen Smith. We don't need no shade to Jalen Smith, but we don't need to be drafting somebody that ain't going to be playing till the whole next year. Like these first 5 draft picks, we need people to impact the game.
I'd like everybody too that's listening and watching right now to just kind of temper their expectations for this upcoming season, because here's the issue.
Are you saying don't go down the rabbit hole?
Fall down if you need to, man. Lord knows I tend to do it anyway, but temper what you expect from this team. Just do the math. Write it down on a piece of paper. Write down new coach, new coaching staff, new players needed, old players very expensive. All that is a recipe for rebuilding and for a very slow uptick in progress. And I think really it would be smart for all of us to just be like, okay, hopefully we'll do decent, because we need to build on something good. We don't really have the foundation that we had at one point. The guys that were amazing on defense are either gone or beat up or gone to Washington.
The nation's
pretty messed up.
They're out there with Dan Quinn, man. I tell you, they love Dan Quinn. My guy Diego says probationary season facts. Yeah, it's day to day with me. Like, I still love them boys. I'm a rep. And you're not going to talk shit about my team, that's for certain. But I'm not going to get up here this year. I'm not rah-rahing and doing all of that. It's day to day. Like, this coaching staff, these players, they've got to go out and earn it. And as we see OTAs kick off, I think it was great that Micah Parsons showed up. Even if he's on a contract year, it's still good for the optics on the leadership side. I mean, he's essentially a leader. You know what I mean? Leaders got to lead. And I think that's where Emmitt Smith has been doing a lot of the griping, saying, like, with these Cowboys saying, oh, look at me and my Instagram, and look at my podcast, and oh, I'm a Cowboy, but I ain't did shit. I think the Cowboys just need to go out there, players need to go out there and do some shit this season. And we're going to have to see day to day, because it could be like what you say. A lot of folks are saying, oh, we're not going to be above 500. It's going to be a catastrophe in Dallas 2.0. You know what I mean?
You do the math on the other teams in the NFC East right now. They're better than us already on paper. It's tough, man. I mean, we got a Super Bowl champion coming back that we've got to play twice this year. We've got the Giants that are getting better, and we've got the Commanders that are just really damn good. The NFC East is tough right now, man. And don't feel bad if you see us in 3 and 4. I mean, it's just going to have to. It may have to happen, man.
Just trying to stay out the basement. We can keep New York down there. Thank you, Diego, for those 100 stars. He said, "Can Jerry just let me be Mary?" Yeah, I think Jerry's kind of taking the back seat here to the media too. He hasn't been on the microphone as much. Do you realize he didn't talk at the combine?
Yeah,
it's like the first time he's never talked at the combine since the combine, I think.
I'm okay with that.
And I was perfect too. Like, I just don't want to hear anything. Like, y'all need to show us, you know, and as many as the greats that have told us, Jerry got to get out of his way. You know, you got to get out of your way. Like, you know, you seen Magic and them guys over there in DC, right? Clowning, saying we just hire the coaches and the players and we get out of the way and let them do their job.
In the history of Jerry Jones talking, history has proven that he has not said shit. There's absolutely been nothing that man has ever said that I've gone, oh, what? I'm so much better of a fan now for having heard you say that, Mr. Jerry Jones. It's never, he's just this, you can almost guarantee to know what he's going to say. If someone asks him a question, you got Jerry on lock, you know he's going to give you the answer he always gives you. It's just such a pain in the ass, man. I tell you what, it's even the coaches, man. Unless Darren Quinn was talking, I didn't want to hear any of our coaches talk, man. They're all old. They don't. It's almost like they're playing in a sport that hasn't been actually played in 20 years. It's hopefully these new coaches are younger and a little bit more experimental with the.
Well, like I said, just the beef between, as we get ready to wrap it up here, just the beef between Schottenheimer and Mike McCarthy, which Kels had already alluded to us on position predictions, which, by the way, will be live on Wednesday for our final edition to do our submissions. So shout out to everybody that's on Patreon. If you've been supporting the content in April, the competition is who's going to be the draft king or the draft queen. And basically all you got to do is predict how many positions the Cowboys are going to draft. Is it one wide receiver, one running back, one quarterback, whoever can get the most right? Or if you get them all right, you'll be the draft king or the draft queen. And then for that, you'll get the star draft guide that just hit the racks. The 2025 NFL star draft guide is on the Dallas Cowboys website. You can get it for the electronic version, and the paper version I think will be out soon. But we're going to have a paper version for the winner in April. And then while you're talking about, you know, us being third and all of that, man, I think the NFC East is going to have the most primetime games in the league. I'm thinking we're going to get, I think between all teams in the NFC East, I'm going on a limb saying this here. Over the last 3 years, we've had 16 primetime games on average between the NFC East. I think this year we're going to see upwards of 20. I think it's going to be 20 or more, because you got to remember, you got Philly is going to start off on the first game, right? Which Kales was saying that, you know, Jerry was pushing for the Cowboys and the Eagles on Thursday Night Football to kick off. I'm like, wow, what a way that would be to go, but I doubt it. But anyway, that would already be 2 NFC East games on the prime time anyway. So I think the total primetime games we're going to get is 16. So in May, we're going to have a competition on who can predict the most primetime games. So make sure you tap in on that Patreon over there. We got these competitions going on. Bob, you can come over and play along with us too, man.
Yeah, might have to, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll tell you this, man. It's tough to sit here and watch a rebuild. It's tough to sit here and it's tough to watch a draft too as a Cowboys fan, man. And normally we have to wait so long for our picks, and we will again because we're a little higher than usual. But at the same time, you know, we can't get mad at any of these picks, man. Because look, if we wind up picking a left tackle with number 12, how mad can you be? If we got a left tackle that's is good to be available at the 12th pick of the NFL draft this year, and we take him, that's, I mean, you got to do that, right? Like, but we all want to see these. We want to see these amazing picks and all these flashy picks and these names that we've heard. It doesn't always work. I don't know. I never knew who the hell Zach Martin was. I had no idea who Tyron Smith was. Travis Frederick is just another big corn Fred looking white dude. I didn't know who any of these people were, and they are all world-class linemen. So I don't know enough to be able to be like, oh,
I don't watch college football either. And, you know, this year I've barely been tapped in, so I paid attention to a lot of the names, but I still don't watch college football. So diving in on position predictions has been very interesting to watch mock drafts, especially what's going on in the media as the NFL draft has now become an event. Now they've got April lockdown with the draft, and in May, now the schedule is an event. Remember when the schedule used to come out like right before the draft?
Yeah, me and Eric Bisson, we call it the date of the date. So we all need to know the date of what the
circle the date when the dates come out for your team. Yeah, I think they're saying around mid-May. So May 15th, I think is going to be the target date that I've been seeing. So I'll probably be out in VA with my girl Candy next month as a result. So we'll have some schedule breaking reactions, because and I know all Cowboy fans have already pegged Las Vegas as the takeover game, just like we deemed Atlanta last year in November the takeover game. So shout out to all of the fans and all the fan clubs, especially the hard hitters. We're deep out there in Atlanta. You know, Las Vegas is going down. Speaking of the hitters, they're going to have their 10-year anniversary there. That's right, 10 years of the hard hitters. They're going to have a big mansion party in Vegas. Like, it's a lot of stuff going down. I just hope they don't put it on Thursday night, because if they do, it's going to mess everything up. I hope it's on Sunday. Please, please, please. I just hope we get the Raiders on a Sunday game, or best case scenario will be a Monday night football game. So,
I mean, last year we were ready to drive to Miami. We were going to go to Miami for that Cowboys Dolphins game, and
I know I remember you saying
as soon as we saw it was Christmas Eve, we were like, "Well, fuck that."
Yeah, right.
That ain't happening.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that it plays nice too, because you know, can you guess or can you predict who the Cowboys are going to open up at home against? I plan on being at the home opener there. Big stuff going to be going down with Stoney over there at his Smithsonian. So stay tuned for that, more details. But yeah, all these dates I'm getting ready to start circling in May, because Denver, like I said, is on the list too. I know a lot of folks have been talking about coming out there, and so either way, you know, we'll have to hook back up just like we did here today, man. It's good linking back up with you here and talking football with my bud.
You know, I got the spot, man. If anybody wants to come here and stay here, man, it's free. You don't have to pay for a fucking hotel, man. And
yeah, you got that downstairs with that got the man cave down there with the TV and all of that. I remember that. Yeah. Shout out to what's your boy's name out there in Florida again?
Eric
B. Yeah, Eric B was out
Eric
there
B.
when we did the Wings. Remember watching the Celtics and all that stuff. So I know he's a big Celtics fan. But yeah, it's good to have you tap in today. We appreciate everybody tapping in with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
It's been a 420 special edition of Don't Go Down the Rabbit Hole. So if you missed anything here today, like we said, it's day to day. Don't go down the Dallas Cowboys rabbit hole this season, because that's exactly what Jerry wants you to do. And you know, when we get around to the end of the show, Danny Don's always brought a light switch somewhere, man. We'll see y'all in the gym on the next episode.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over, and tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.